Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rotz Report, episode 28. I'm your co host, Matty, and with me, as usual, is the Ohio showstopper himself, Christopher Rotz. How are you, sir?
I am doing well. It's good to be here. It's good to be seen on a Thursday or what. I'm having a good week so far, being back from vacation with work. So everything's going well. Always say yeah to NoDQ.com. Follow Wrestling Peg on all social medias. And I have my Super Mario Bro t shirt on.
Oh, yes, that new film out. Is it The Galaxy?
Yeah, it's the Super Mario movie Galaxy, and I highly recommend you guys to go watch it. It is funny and is hilarious.
So I grew up with the not so hilarious Mario in the 90s. If people around my age, around the 80s and 90s, don't know that, that was one hell of a fuck up film. Right, so, well, talking of F ups, let's talk about WrestleMania. Let's talk about, or as I'm dubbing this now, TK One Night. Um, First off, what did you think of the staging of WrestleMania and the build up?
For your first question with the stage, I like this stage. It was different than last year's stage. They had people sitting on the by the
Ramp?
staging by the ramp, so it was nice. I hope they can do that more often because it gives like a good feel to everything. And then the build up to WrestleMania, it was a wild, it was chaotic build, but I just did not. So did somewhat enjoy some of the matches that were game build up, and some it was like thrown together. So hopefully, when they go with the road to WrestleMania next year, hopefully it could be a better one than this past year.
Absolutely. Did you catch any of the Indies WrestleMania week on the TV?
Unfortunately, I don't watch indie wrestling, but hey, indie wrestling matters to everybody. So I'm not downgrading the indies whatsoever. I just don't keep up as much with that. But the only thing I did see was Brody Lee Jr. And
Absolutely.
he's gonna have a heck of a career. And hopefully he can go to AEW or WWE someday and maybe become a world champion.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that match against Joey Janela was unbelievable. It told a story. Both men were brilliant, and it was such a classic match. That was on Joey Janela's Spring Break 10. Yes, 10. Um, Also on that was the Sandman versus the Invisible Man, where it just had a whole lot of shenanigans in it. Mick Foley came out, Missy Hyatt came out, a porn star came out, Invisible Stan came out. It's just utter color. Bill Alfonso was ringside for Invisible Man. It's just crazy, lovely nostalgia. It was just a brilliant match. Also, um, but yeah, there was Dragon Gate, there was Progress Wrestling, which was an amazing Progress Wrestling show. There was Maple Leaf Wrestling. There was Slam Wrestling. It's just, I think the last week, I know we're talking about WrestleMania and all that. I think Indie Wrestling beat WrestleMania this year,
Wow.
just by the shows they did, the wrestling they did, everything. I feel Indie Wrestling beat not just WWE, but I think they beat Darby Allin's title win also because it had just so fucking entertaining. It was unbelievable. So talking about that, let's get into WrestleMania in Las Vegas. Um, Night one, let's kick it off. The Usos and LA Knight versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and I Show Speed. The match was about 7-8 minutes. It was a good match. Weird ending, but I did like the what happened after. What's your take on the match?
I'm gonna tell you, yeah, it was 7 to 8 minutes because of it was on ESPN2 and they had to do like the timing with everything. But it was an all right match. I picked the Usos and LA Knight, yeah, to get the victory. And I Showed Speed got punched out by Logan Paul. And I'm going to tell you, I Showed Speed, he is still cursed by Danhausen. And Danhausen is not going to lift the curse until I Show Speed asks him to do so. But where I can see things going next is with LA Knight. What we saw on Monday, he's going to have a feud with Gunther. So that's going to be a good feud with the Usos. Hopefully gain their tag team championships back. And then with the Vision, I think we might be seeing a Logan Paul versus I Show Speed match down the road. If that does happen, maybe we can get it at SummerSlam if I Show Speed is able to do SummerSlam. So I'm going to say I Show Speed, Logan Paul, SummerSlam would be a good match to see. And that's just basically it.
What was your take on I Show Speed Frog Splash to Logan on the announcer table?
So he was scared to death, but he was praying and says, hopefully I'll be okay. But that frog splash, oh my gosh, I Show Speed he's talented and he did an amazing job. When I saw his first performance was at the 2025 Royal Rumble. He did a good job until Braun Breaker speared the living daylights out of him. And now seeing him at WrestleMania, he did a good job. And hopefully we see I Show Speed more often in WWE.
Well, seeing as TKO has always got the celebrity numbers, I would be surprised if we see more I Show Speed. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre unsanctioned match. This match was really good. I loved the Drew McIntyre tweeting spot again. And it was entertaining. It felt a bit rushed because obviously, like you said, it was on ESPN2. But Fatu winning was quite a surprise for me. What was your take on the match?
Well, I picked Jacob Fatu to get the win, and I'm happy for him because he needed the win more than Drew McIntyre does. And I'm going to tell you, I feel bad that Drew McIntyre didn't go into WrestleMania as the WWE Championship. It would have been fitting to do is fitting would have Drew McIntyre because everybody was saying we're going to get like the Fatal 4-Way with Drew, Cody, Randy, and Jacob. And that didn't really click. So that's why we had two separate feuds. And I feel like that match was pretty much rushed because it was on ESPN2. Drew McIntyre's on X again, possibly complaining how I'm going to lose this match. I feel like that's his new gimmick. Go on social media and complain about it.
That's what the fans do.
And now what's going to be next with Drew McIntyre? I don't really know, but we're going to have to see what goes down tomorrow on SmackDown with Drew, possibly maybe going into a feud with Nick Aldis. That can be good. And then with Jacob, he's officially going to be now on Monday Night Raw moving forward. he's going to be going to a feud with the World Heavyweight Championship, and we will get to that match when we get to that match. So Jacob Fatu wins, and I see big things for him in the future.
The next match was the women's fatal four-way. Bailey and Lyra versus the Irresistible Forces of Nia and Nash versus Bliss and Flair versus the Bella Twins. However, speculating throughout the week, and we reported it here on Wrestling Pedigree also, that Nikki was not medically cleared and she was maybe out of WrestleMania. Then on Hall of Fame on the Friday night, while being interviewed by Big E and Byron, she said she is medically cleared and she is going to wrestle. However, the next night we see her coming out on crutches and she has surgery at Birmingham, Alabama. 2 weeks before, she's done her ankle and everything like that. And I think, Ross, if I'm correct, I think 2 days before that, on the first day, it was announced that Paige was signed to WWE, which ruined the spoiler because as soon as you see Nikki coming out in the crutches, you know who's coming out. What was your take on the match and your take on probably one of the most, in my opinion, underrated female wrestlers in history because she doesn't get as much love as she should, Paige?
I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you, I was reading something. It was actually reported Friday night. It was reported Friday that Paige had signed back to WWE. And when I saw Paige announce that she was coming back, they signed her and she was going to replace Nikki Bella. I had a gut feeling they were going to give Paige and the Bellas their WrestleMania moment and winning the tag team championships. And I'm going to tell you this. Yeah, I didn't pick the Bellas to win. I had Bailey and Lyra because it was going to be a full circle moment for Bailey and Lyra. What happened last year at WrestleMania would have been a full circle. Now, Bailey and Lyra didn't get their WrestleMania moment for the second straight time. And hopefully they could become tag team champions. But with Paige being back in WWE, and I was also reading this, she was in Birmingham, Alabama, the same day she saw Nikki Bella, and the doctor says to Paige, "You're cleared. You're ready to go home." So that was a sign she was ready to go home to WWE, and that's when 2 weeks later, on a Friday last week, Paige is back in WWE. We saw her at WrestleMania. She's the tag team champions, and you could tell she fits right at home. And I'm going to enjoy Paige being back in WWE. But where do I see this going to? I think Nikki Bella is going to be turning on Paige, and we're going to get the Bellas as a tag team, being the tag team champions, and then Paige might have to go find another partner to face the Bellas for the tag team champions. And what better partner we could see Paige align up against? AJ Lee. I would love for them to run back the Bellas versus AJ Lee and Paige for the tag team champions down the road. And that would be a WrestleMania 31 rematch for the tag team champion. So hopefully we can get to that point. Bailey and Lyra, I would love for them to be tag team champions someday. The Irresistible Forces possibly having a rematch for the tag champions, and then maybe going against singles champions, the women's champion or the women's United States champions. And then Alexa and Charlotte, split them up.
Wow. It's gonna split up the best friends. Um, where I don't know. Where do you think Nia and Nash will go now?
I feel they would go and get a rematch for the tag team championships because they never lost the champions in the first place.
That's
Because
true.
Fatal 4-Ways, you have a 25% chance of winning the match.
That's true. That's true. And yeah, it's I I love Paige being back. I would have put her in this. I would have had her coming out and help AJ. But let's talk about that match. AJ Lee puts her Intercontinental title on the line against Becky Lynch. I quite enjoyed this match. The I don't know how you put it. The entrance for Becky was not her fault, but you could tell lip singing and Jessica and like you could tell it was bad. Like they were out of sync, and on the grander stage, you gotta get hit critical on that. What was your take on the match? I thought it was a good match. I actually thought it was really, really good. Um, I can understand the winner because obviously AJ's got other commitments, but I thought it was a good match. And now Becky's going to be more irritable, and you're going to be more irritable and all, aren't you?
Well, my take on it, it was an all right match. I enjoyed the Elimination Chamber match with those two instead of WrestleMania. But hey, Becky Lynch and with her entrance with the Wonder Years, and I was telling my brother this, that the guy was lip singing and I recognized it immediately. And I says, wait a minute, he's not even singing at all. So that was bad on his part that he didn't sing the correct things. But hey, we're not going to blame them at all. It's WrestleMania and he was possibly nervous. But the match outcome, we had Jessica Carr got into Becky Lynch's face. So I have a gut feeling, and what you've been telling me on Wrestling Pedigree on our podcast, that Jessica Carr is a wrestling competitor. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a Becky Lynch Jessica Carr feud for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, because that would be a good match there. But hey, Becky Lynch winning was the right call. She's going to be there every single Monday. And I feel she's going to be going down as one of the greatest women's intercontinental champions of all time. ESPN saying it, Bleacher Report saying it, CBS Sports is saying it, even WWE 2K26 commentator team is saying it, and all other social media platforms are saying about Becky Lynch. But hey, it was the right call, and we will definitely see AJ Lee back in WWE whenever she wants to come back around.
So, yes, you are going to be more irritable with Becky Lynch as champion. um, let's get into the next match. I think it was three. There were two straight women matches, and then this match. Gunther versus Seth Rollins. I thought it was a good. I think these two were phenomenal. For them to have a match build up 2 weeks, and then to give us that kind of match was unbelievable. And I'm wanting more, and I hope we do get more. Gunther was for the win from all of us, but then a particular badass returned. What's your take on Breaker coming back and Gunther winning?
I'm going to tell you, Gunther winning was the right call, and I enjoyed Seth Rollins and Gunther. They put on a banger match. It was great. The last time we saw these two was back in 2019 on Monday Night Raw from the UK, and that match didn't have a clean finish because of Imperium interfered and caused that match not to have a
Yeah.
clean finish at all. But this feud, it happened 3 weeks, and their match was great. It came on a fly because we were supposed to get Gunther and Rey Mysterio, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker. Braun and Rey didn't. They weren't able to compete at the time. So, hey, if you saw Seth, you saw Gunther, put them together and let's go and have fun and let's do magic. And they did. They put on a good match. Gunther winning was the right call. Braun Breaker coming back. And now I'm going to be saying you, we are going to get a Seth Rollins Braun Breaker feud. And I feel this feud is going to have a trilogy on our hands. So that's where I'm seeing it. But as far as the next PLE goes with Backlash, I think we're going to get the Vision, Braun Breaker, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul against Seth Rollins and the returning Street Profits, who we saw this past Monday on Raw. So that's where I'm seeing it go for Backlash, and then possibly Clash in Italy or Saturday night's main event. We will get the first encounter with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. And this, I feel, Rollins and Breaker, this is going to be the feud of the summer.
Oh, really? What's your take on Street Profits though returning?
I'm happy for them because we haven't seen the Street Profits since
8 months.
I think the last time we saw Street Profits was last summer, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that they're back. And also, I know we're going to bring this up. We want to give a congratulations to Bianca Belair. She is pregnant. I am happy for both Montez and Bianca Belair. We're wishing them the best of luck. And hopefully, when the baby comes, it is going to be healthy for them. And hopefully, they are going to enjoy life to the fullest and spoil that baby for the both as shall they live.
Absolutely. This is gonna hurt my ears.
Yes, it will be.
Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Falcare. It was. I can understand why this match was short for 6 or 7 minutes because they were both banged up after collisions and stuff like that. I don't think they needed the interference from Judgment Day, but I can understand now why they did because now she's like, I don't need to do this on my own. I got my family with me, so I understand that. But I don't know where Stephanie Falcare could go from here. She has the rematch. Probably will be a backlash in Tampa, but I would probably put her on SmackDown and probably get like Tiffany onto Raw. But that's just me. What was your take on Liv Morgan recapturing the World Heavyweight Championship?
Well, I'm happy. Liv winning was the right call. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. She had Judgment Day's Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez came out helping her. But I just feel next time when Liv and Stephanie gets back, hopefully Liv can say, I want to do this on my own. And
Mhm.
hopefully it could happen. But hey, and also Dominic came out to celebrate. And what cracked me up, it was Michael Cole saying, Dom, do you know that you have a match against the Demon tomorrow night? That cracked me up. Dom was happy that he celebrated with his girl, and we will talk about Dom when we get there. But Liv winning, right call. She's going to be going down as the greatest women's world champion of all time. I'm not blowing out your eardrums tonight, dude, so you got nothing to worry about. Where do I see happening next is possibly we're going to get the rematch with Liv and Stephanie at Backlash. And then from here on out, hopefully we can get the downfall of the Judgment Day with Raquel turning on Liv, and we can get a Liv Raquel feud for the Women's World Championship.
I think so. I think that'd be it. I think by the beginning of Night of Champions in Saudi, we will see probably one member of Judgment Day leave, and I'm thinking it'll be Roxanne. Let's go on to the main event. I liked the main event. I thought it was a good main event. It was a really good start. I like that J-Bo came out and beat the shit out of Pat McAfee for the table, which then made it a one-on-one. This match told a story, and everybody knows I love my storytelling. Obviously, I want your take on this and what happened before the match, but were you surprised how much blood was in this match for WWE?
I was very surprised. And hey, we need to see more blood in WWE. And hopefully, maybe they could bring back a first blood match. I would love for them to do that match again.
What was your take on the match anyway? And what happened before the match also?
What happened before the match? Yeah, Jelly Roll got revenge on Pat McAfee for taking like whatever happened with those two. And it was actually Pat McAfee's call to opt out moving forward with the WWE storyline with him and Randy. And it was his calls. And they had a pivot. But I'm going to tell you, Cody Rhodes retaining was not the right call. Cody should not be champion today. Randy Orton should have won his 15th world champion at WrestleMania. Not have Cody retain. And personally, I feel like everybody is Cody Rhodes fatigue right now. And I feel like Cody Rhodes is the same old Cody Rhodes that we've been seeing for a long time. He needs to freshen up his character. He needs to have a character change. I would love for Cody Rhodes to turn heel one day. Would that all happen? Maybe or maybe not. But hey, hopefully if it does happen, Triple H can let his golden boy do whatever. And I'm speaking the truth here because Cody Rhodes is Triple H's golden boy. And that's why he's in the position that he's in. He's always in championship matches. And I'm just getting sick and tired of it. And people are getting bored with Cody. So hopefully things can change quickly. But I understand why Cody retained. Because he's in the Street Fighter movie. And they want to promote that when they do the movie premiere. And he's going to be champion for that event. So I understand why. But hopefully we get Randy Orton as a 15th world champion down the road sooner rather than later.
Obviously you were just talking about Cody Rhodes there. And I would just counter what you just said. Now, you're a fan of the OTC. So, wasn't the OTC doing exactly what Cody was doing before Cody arrived?
What do you mean by that?
Well, Roman was Vince's golden child at that time when Cody came back to WWE. Roman won mostly everything again. He just kept winning. He was always in the title matches because also he had that 1,316 days. I know he defended it 38 times, but he still was in title matches. He was still like there. I'll give you it. He had his gimmick changed and he was the OTC, but there is still like similar to what Cody is now. It's just Cody very very green babyface, where Roman obviously at the time was a badass heel, but there's some similarities there. It's just it's I don't think you could blame Cody because I think they just said you need to be kind of like a Bob Backlund was in the 80s, where he's just kissing babies and be a really good guy. I think, like you said, Cody needs to turn heel. I think we will see that by the end of this year.
And let's hope it's soon rather than later. And I'm agreeing. Yeah, there's similarities with Roman and Cody, but Cody doesn't need to be in a championship match all the time. Let someone new take over and let's see how it goes. And Cody, he could be in non-title feuds, but not always in the title picture, and let the fans be bored with Cody.
I agree on that, but the match was pretty good. Orton got Cody a really good shot in the eye. Do you feel this is the Orton 2009 kind of Orton now? Is he fully healed now?
I think he is. And I love this version of Randy Orton. And I was, when we were doing our WrestleMania preview, I said, I hope Randy Orton punch kicks Cody Rhodes daylights out. And I was happy to see the return of the punt kick. And then Cody Rhodes' eye. Oh my gosh. His eyelid is shut completely. And what we saw on Monday, I said, oh my gosh. So hopefully Cody Rhodes can get back, like get cleared. But hey, we're going to find out more about the Cody Rhodes situation tomorrow night on Friday Night SmackDown.
Absolutely. What was your first take? What's your take then on Monday on night one overhaul?
Night one, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. And match of the night for me was Seth Rollins versus Gunther.
Yeah, for me, I would say a 3 out of 10, just because of how many celebrities.
What was your match of the night?
I am probably going to say same with you. Gunther versus Seth. Orton and Cody was a close second, and Jacob Fatu and Drew was a decent third. My moment, though, of that whole night was the Page returning. But yeah, that's why I call it TK one night, because night two was basically Triple H saying, "Let me have the book." Um, I'm not going to talk about the beginning of the night two. I'm going to save that match to the end, because I really want to talk to you about that ending of the first match. So let's go into the Intercontinental ladder match. Penta, JD Madonna, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, and Rusev. All of them were absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, my boy Penta. Terry Amaro wins barely. What was your take on this match and the absolute freaking highlight reels that was in this match?
I'm going to tell you, I enjoyed that ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. We had a lot of spots. We had 619s. We had a whatever Rey Mysterio did to Rusev. going through a ladder. We had an OG cutter. We had a Mexican destroyer. And
Oh,
I thought that ladder match was insane. And from top to bottom, it was good. Penta retaining was the right call because I love a Penta Intercontinental Championship run, and there's still legs for Penta's title reign. What we saw with him in Triple A against El Hingo Del Vikingo, I feel he's going to do more with Triple A and Monday Night Raw moving forward simultaneously, defending the Intercontinental Championship and bringing more eyes to Triple A and also to WWE. And I'm going to tell you this with Javon Evans, he impressed me in that ladder match, and he will be Intercontinental Championship. I know Rusev it wants the Intercontinental Championship, and I know what we saw on Monday Night on Raw, all ego Ethan Page is going to want an Intercontinental Championship. Where I see Rey Mysterio, I think Rey Mysterio is going to be done with Monday night, and he's going to go back over the Friday Night SmackDown, fighting for the United States Championship and maybe having a feud with some of the guys over there on Fridays. JD Madonna, he's still going to be with the Judgment Day. Dragon Lee, I don't know where he can go, but hey, hopefully he can do more stuff, maybe fight for the Intercontinental Championship or go to Triple A. Whatever he does, he's going to have a bright future after Mania. But the ladder match was good. Penta wins. And we're just going to see how long Penta keeps that Intercontinental Championship for.
that Mexican destroyer on the ladder to JD Madonna from Penta was absolutely disgustingly beautiful. I never seen that before, and thank God JD's got a big head. Let's go into the next match. Is Tricky Williams. I knew that was coming. If people are doing this to this, Ross was doing this. Well, that trick dance. Tricky Williams versus the Gingerbread Man, which is Sami Zayn for the US title. Little Liotti was in Tricky's corner. Trick Williams entrance was brilliant. It suited him very well. The match was good. The right winner came out. I think we're going to get Trick Williams versus Carmelo Nets. But what's your take on the match, and where do you see Sammy going from here?
Well, with Trick Williams winning, it was the right call because he was promoted for the WrestleMania after party with Rob Gronkowski, and it was fitting that he was the United States Championship for that. And when I saw his jacket, I said, oh my gosh. And I was seeing memes about it. Is Trick Williams going to go down the aisle wearing this jacket when he gets married to Lash Legend? I was seeing that meme. I said, oh my gosh. Hopefully that could happen. But, Lash Legend is going to be having a dress, and the dress is going to be long. So it will be fitting. It would be a good fitting. But hey, Trick winning was the right call. He's going to have a good U.S. title run. I feel we will possibly see Sami Zayn gain a rematch for that United States Championship. And hopefully we all know he's going to lose the match. And that's when Sammy is going to snap and he's going to turn full heel. He needs to turn heel and see what he could do as a heel and maybe get on the good mind space. And I'm going to totally agree with you. We're going to get Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams feud for the summer. And I'm also hearing Trick Williams, He's not going to be doing the United States Championship Open challenges no more. So we want to thank our past United States Championship contenders. You did a good job doing the Open Challenge every single Friday. I looked forward to that, and now we can get some proper storytelling with the United States Championship moving forward.
The Demon Finn Balor versus Dom Mysterio that turned into a street fight. Thank you, Adam Pierce. I love this match. I will say Mysterio put Demon over a lot. It's great to see him back. What was your take on this match? And does Finn? I know what happened on Monday Night Raw, but is Finn on the top two, top three of deserving of a world title match?
I'm going to tell you is with Demon Finn gained the win, it was the right call. He defeated Dom at WrestleMania. And that was a good match between those two with the street fight when Adam Pierce talking to Dom, and he still says, I signed up to have a match with regular Finn, not the Demon. Well, guess what, Dom? You antagonize Finn Balor to no end. So when it gets personal like that, he's going to bring out the Demon. So you have to understand that. And when Adam Pierce says to Dom, your match is a street fight and it is official, I enjoyed it. From top to bottom, Finn gained the win. What's going to happen next with Dom? He's still going to be going to Triple A, defending his Triple A Mega Championship. And Finn Balor, I think it's time that they push the guy and finally put the World Championship on him.
Absolutely. He so deserves the world title. He's worked his ass off since having to relinquish it the next night. It's unbelievable. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what they do at the backlash between Finn and Dirty Dom. I think it could be a good battle because it's just going to be Finn, ain't going to be a Demon this time. Let's strut our way into this match. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. That kicked off night 2. I'm going to let you talk about this match. What the hell did we see in this match?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I enjoyed Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. They did a fantastic job. And beforehand, their locker rooms were on lockdown before this match even got started. But Obafemi gained a win was 100% the right call. And Obafemi, his career is going to go skyrocket because he defeated the Beast and he is the next big thing. And I'm making bold predictions here. My first bold prediction, Saturday, June 27th. This is also a little bit of a breaking news. Saturday, June 27th, WWE will have Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So let us assume they will be doing in the month of May the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. I'm bookmarking Obafemi will win the 2026 King of the Ring tournament, and he will be going to the main event of SummerSlam and challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we will get to that match when we get to that match. And I'm going to tell you, that match, the world champion, Obafemi, oh my gosh, it is going to be absolutely great. And I'm looking forward to that. But what we saw at the end with Brock Lesnar, he took off his gear. He laid it down. Brock Lesnar gave Paul Heyman the X, and you know what the X means. It is serious that he is done with professional wrestling. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Brock Lesnar's done. I don't think that was a true retirement. And here's the reason why. We still have a favor from Gunther to Paul Heyman. And I'm going to tell you, I think Gunther is going to try his best with Paul Heyman to lure the beast, Brock Lesnar, for one more match. And he gets it at SummerSlam. And I'm going to tell you, I feel we're going to get Gunther and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Because I don't see Brock being done after this weekend.
Wow.
So I'm going to tell you guys, I think Gunther is going to lure Brock Lesnar back for one more match, and Gunther is going to try to end the career of Brock Lesnar in his hometown at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
That's a bold prediction. I really enjoyed the match. I was so surprised by Obafemi not like receiving the M5 and just saying, "Brother, is that all you got?" And then just giving one hell of a choke slam and then a powerbomb. I'm not shocked about the result. I was very shocked after it. Brock retiring and putting his boots in his knee pads and his elbow pads and his gloves in the middle of the ring. I think that was legitimate. I don't think we're going to get a Gunther versus Brock. I think there's probably something more serious that we don't know about it. Like he's probably injured. However, from someone that's watched Brock from 2002 on Raw and SmackDown to now, to see him go through crazy matches and crazy storylines and different paths he's gone down, he is for me one of the top 10 most of probably respected fighters slash wrestlers, because you cannot go from being the youngest WWE champion at the time, defeating The Rock within I think 3 or 4 months at SummerSlam, going on a crazy feud with Undertaker on SmackDown for the rest of 2002, have epic matches with Kurt Angle in 2003, get booed out of Madison Square Garden in 2004 against Goldberg and get stunned by Austin. Try American football. Didn't work out with the Vikings. Then go USC. Dominate USC. And then 2012, 2012, come back, whoop John Cena's ass. Excellent Extreme Rules match. Dominate him at SummerSlam. Suplex City was born. Undertaker Street's dead. The guy is got so many accolades, it's unbelievable, and he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But did you see the reactions of Paul Heyman?
Yes, I did, and he was crying his eyes out. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't stand Brock Lesnar because he ended my guy's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, and you brought that up. And he also took my boy John Cena to Suplex City.
Yep.
But as time went on, and I finally realized it, that this year he earned my respect. He finally earned my respect, and I'm going to leave the past in the past and just move forward with it. And Brock Lesnar is going to go down as one of the best to ever do it in WWE and also in UFC. So if this is the end for Brock Lesnar, he had a heck of a career. If what I said about Brock Lesnar and Gunther for SummerSlam, let's hope that happens. But if not, then Brock Lesnar can just enjoy life to the fullest And hopefully the Undertaker can surprise Brock Lesnar at his house and says, "You're going into the Hall of Fame."
Oh, that'd be. I'm looking forward to that interaction. Um, with the only way I compare with people like not liking Brock going in, and what you say you did like Brock Lesnar. When I was growing up, keep it kayfabe. When I was growing up, I hated Jake the Snake Roberts because he was evil, he was conniving, the way he talked, and he picked on Macho Man. Ah, I hated him. Now I love him because I learned about all the stuff that he did and unfortunate stuff that he got screwed out of by Ultimate Warrior. It's crazy to think that probably in like 5-10 years time when we're listening to a Brock Lesnar documentary on Netflix, we're gonna find out something about Brock where we didn't know, and then me and you will be like, "Oh shit, yeah, he did that. That was so cool." So I don't. I think that's what I'm most looking forward to. Is if Brock is done, I'm hoping they will do a kind of like a Hogan documentary on him. I I've been holding this off for too long now. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight
Did
title.
you miss the match?
No, I didn't.
What about Jay Cargill, Rhea Ripley?
Oh, do we have to?
No, we're skipping it.
No, we go on. Jay Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. Mike Rhea Ripley maybe won. It was an ass whooping. That was Jade's best match since she joined WWE. That was her best match. I think I realize now is if you give Jade a great dance partner, we will see the best of Jade. I think in a couple years' time, Jade will dominate the whole thing. I think she'll become a wrestling general. I just think just give her Io, give her Rhea, give her Stephanie Falker, give her I would give her Tiffany, but I would, like Julia, all those veteran women, give her Natty. I think they can make Jade $1 billion if they do it that way. But what's your take on Rhea and Jade?
Well, unfortunately, I picked Jade Cargill to retain, and
And
I thought,
who got
and I
Rhea?
and I thought Jade Cargill was going to retain, keep the title until Bianca Belair comes back. Now Bianca Belair is not going to come back possibly until maybe the end of the year or somewhat in 2027 with her being pregnant. So I feel they had a pivot to Rhea Ripley. And I'm going to be happy that Rhea Ripley is going to be finally going to my brand of Friday Night SmackDown. And I'm looking forward to see how Rhea Ripley's presentation is tomorrow on SmackDown. But I do feel we could get a rematch with Jade and Rhea. And I'm just going to say Rhea Ripley, she's back on top.
And it's nice to have Judgment Day back on SmackDown. You got R-Truth, Damian Priest, and Rhea. It was heartbreaking on Monday Night Raw to see Rhea and say their goodbyes, but it was kind of weird though seeing Liv and Rhea talking. Do you think that's a plant seed for Night of Champions when they face each other?
I don't think it's going to happen at Night of Champions because after Night of Champions, the next Saudi pay-per-view, presumably it will be Crown Jewel. And you know what Crown Jewel is. The best versus the best. Champion versus champion. And I just have a gut feeling they're going to do Liv and Rhea champion versus champion at Crown Jewel.
I don't think it'll be in Saudi because last year it was in Perth. It could be in England. I mean, we got the royal family, so Crown Jewel will make it very, very fun theme for us. But I enjoyed the match though. It was a really good match, and Miami's on top again. Right now, let's get into some I didn't want to talk about. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Both men had great entrances to the match. Was goosebumps, hair standing on my arms, hearing CM Punk's ROH theme coming out. His entrance was unbelievable. Roman was also, I knew you were going to say Mercy Romans, but the match is up there with Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. I could watch this match again and again and feel the same way. It's absolutely amazing. Back and forth. Bit dodgy with the referee, but um what's your take on your OTC back on top?
I'm going to tell you, when we're doing our WrestleMania preview, I did say CM Punk. But I did had a change of heart come after the main event on Saturday. And I did say, I did have a change of heart, and I said, I think Roman's gained the championship. And here's why they put the title on Roman. And I'm going to say the same thing. He's in Street Fighter. They're going to want him as champion to promote the movie. So that's why. But hey, Roman Reigns, he's back on top. For how long? I don't know. I feel he could have I'm going to say he should have a short title reign and have him drop the championship to Obafemi at SummerSlam. I would love for Obafemi to be the world championship in his first year on the main roster, and he'll be the fastest world champion winner ever in his rookie career on the main roster. But if it doesn't happen, then maybe I think Roman's going to hold on to that championship until next year's WrestleMania and have a year title run. But hey, he's back on top. He's won the world championship. And what I heard on the post show, you better save room for me because you're going to be getting me all summer long.
Yeah.
So that's going to mean every Monday, we're going to be seeing the OTC Roman Reigns. We're going to be seeing him at Backlash going up against Jacob Fatu, and that's going to be Generation Match of the Year with Jacob Fatu's family, Roman's family, the Samoan Dynasty. That match is going to be good. Roman and Jacob at SummerSlam. And then, no, not at SummerSlam, but at Backlash. So I botched that. I was getting ahead of myself, you guys.
That's a long feud.
And then Saturday night's main event. I don't know if he would compete on a Saturday night's main event. Presumably, he'll possibly just do the PLEs.
If he's full time, he's doing everything.
So
If he's full time, he's doing everything.
Well, he's gonna bring the business, and he's gonna save the business for WWE for the whole entire summer. And I'm gonna enjoy Roman all summer long. And what next for CM Punk? I enjoyed hearing his Ring of Honor theme song. I popped so much and I loved it. I was happy to hear that theme song for the first time since hearing it when we saw CM Punk and MJF at AEW Revolution back in 2022 in a dog collar match. And I love that theme song. So happy for WWE for allowing us to hear his Ring of Honor song. What next for CM Punk? I think he's heading over to Friday Night SmackDown. He needs a brand change, and I feel we might be on possibly a feud with him and Cody Rhodes for the summer.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see SummerSlam's going to be a big deal for between Punk and Cody. The match though was unbelievable, and some the thing gets me. And obviously, I've watched wrestling for 30 plus years now. If you hit someone with steel steps, that
You
is a
get
freaking
disqualified.
exactly. So what the hell was the referee doing there, Rotz? He should have DQ'd your man.
I'm going to tell you, I feel like he should have disqualified him, but I feel how the animosity been built up with Punk and Reigns. I feel the referee just says, just do whatever. Just do whatever.
Yeah, I just, I just thought it's one of the greatest matches I've watched in a very long time, and they need this momentum now, WWE, and I hope they will now with new people on Raw with the call ups. There's going to be call ups tomorrow. Yeah, I'm really hoping now. Um, we get the best of WWE this year now. Um, what was your thoughts then on night two?
Night two, I enjoy night two better than night one. It delivered. I had a good time with my buddy from work. His name is Dave Parsons. I enjoyed having him over for night two. And top to bottom, I'm going to give night two an 8 out of 10. Match of the night for me was definitely the World Championship match. And I also enjoyed Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh, for me, it was a 10 out of 10 for night two. Totally different to night one. Absolutely, totally different. Obviously, I agree with you. World title match was definitely a match of the whole show. But yeah, night two. Oba and Brock number two, the ladder match number three, and then Rhea Jade number four. Close number four. Um, before we put a cover on this one, there's some I didn't talk about. Danhausen and John Cena picking on Miz and Kit Wilson, and then a whole bunch of midgets coming out and cop shot Kit Wilson. Um, don't you just love that crazy shit?
I'm going to tell you, when I saw those little people, I about died. I about died. And I just says, you gotta be kidding me. We saw girls for his debut, and now we saw little guys. Uh, Danhausen, he's going to be a character in WWE, and we're going to be still seeing Danhausen curse people for a very long time.
Exactly, and it was a really good moment, and he had his WrestleMania moment. I thought John Cena was a really good host, did you?
Yes, he did. He did a good job from top to bottom. And it sucks that we're not going to be seeing him again, but we are definitely going to be seeing John Cena again because he has something up his sleeves for WWE Backlash in Tampa.
Oh, um, so let's put a blanket on this one. Um, this WrestleMania has some many highs, many lows. Not the best build up, but most of the matches extended all sorts. Would this WrestleMania be one of the most controversial in your opinion?
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to agree with you. I feel WrestleMania 42 was controversial. We had TKO involvement. And I just hope TKO can just stay out of WWE's creative business and just let Triple H run his WWE the way it needs to be.
Hopefully they do, but it it was the perfect example of night and day, where night one TKO, night two Triple H's. So I would um Shapiro saying that they have full creative now of WWE. Basically Triple H is the scapegoat. It's yeah, being a WWE fan at the moment is a roller coaster, that's for damn sure. So, Mr. Ohio Showstopper, where can people find you?
Where can people find me at is on my Instagram, CMROTZ_1316. Facebook is Christopher Rotz. My X account is CRotz24. I always have a blast here on my podcast with Rotz Report. Always treasure your mentality. Always think about the positive instead of the negative. Just enjoy life to the fullest. And the next time you'll be getting us is tomorrow for our SmackDown after WrestleMania watch along. And I'm looking forward to that watch along because we have 3 hours and anything can happen on the Friday night after WrestleMania. So stay tuned for that. Always say yeah to NoDQ.com. Follow Wrestling Pedigree on all social media platforms. Enjoy life and always enjoy professional wrestling.
Absolutely. You can find Wrestling Pedigree on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, YouTube. We're everywhere. Like Ross said, we got the watch along tomorrow for the the WrestleMania, SmackDown. We will have Ross Report next week. We have Wrestling Pedigree podcast bonus episode tomorrow, and we have the main show on Saturday. We also have Wrestling Roundtable returning this Sunday with Jeff and myself and Justin with special guest Durvon. That's all going to be WrestleMania Fallout and the AEW title win. So with that, from myself and Christopher Rotz, enjoy professional wrestling, but please don't be a dick. Enjoy this weekend.